Welcome back to the Stressful to Successful podcast with your co-host Tiffany Chasson and myself, Jaden D'Amico. Today we have the gentleman Fred Nassari, the owner of Unicorn Jewelry and Watch Boutique located in Rancho Bernardo, California. Fred?
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
Tiffany, will you begin?
We'd like to know, how did you get started in this how did you get started in the jewelry business?
I started in here in 1981. Small shop, and I have to tell you, it was a challenge because it was a small store, very small store, 444 square feet, and a very very limited capital. I started basically with 2 showcases, and it was 1981 that I started here. That's almost 44 years ago.
Oh, wow.
44 years ago, and I've been here since then. What you see, the expansion of the store and all that happened in the past 44 years. We've gone from 444 square feet to almost 3,000 square feet. It's a family business. Me, my sister Minu and my wife Mitra, and it is a very, it's been a beautiful journey, definitely challenging, but it's a great journey.
Awesome. So you've stayed in the same location the whole time?
Yes, the same location, same place, same family, same name for 44 years. And in this day and age, as an independent, as a small store, you are not. It doesn't happen all the time. It's a very rarity. Actually, I believe in San Diego at the moment we have one of the very few jewelry stores that has been same shop, same location for same time.
Wow, that's amazing.
So do you mostly do your own type of jewelry, or do you sell a lot of different brands?
We do. Actually, we take a pride in making a lot of custom design here. I've got 6 master jewelers. We have 6 master jewelers in the back. Wow. And then but also the same token, we have full array of brand names that a lot of jewelry stores just can only dream of having them. We are platinum account, as you can see, for bridal brand for Takori, Jaffe, Veragio, and Michael M. And watches, some of them we are exclusive dealer for them in San Diego County. So that doesn't happen all the time. But we do both. And for the store in Rancho Bernardo, we are not in a mall. We are in a strip center. We are one of the busiest walk-in jewelry store in San Diego.
That's amazing.
Why do you think that is? Do you get mostly referrals or advertising? How do you?
I would say 70% of our business is either word of mouth or referral, and 30% are we do a lot of advertisement. But I would say 70 to 80% of our business either is word of mouth or repeat customers or referral, and we take a pride in it that we really treat everybody. We've been our policy to treat everybody not just like a family. And we want to treat them the way we want to be treated. And we give, the old-fashioned way. Communicate with the customer. Communicate with the client. See what they want. And really do what you can and do it best. Don't go for a second chance. Don't take anything for granted. And every single detail has to be touched. So it's important. In this day age of a digital world, I think the human contact and people being seen is important. Yes, digital is important, but I think people want to be feeling that, yes, they're being cared for and they're liked and they're important. That
Right.
makes a difference.
What is like the most popular type of jewelry that you think usually people buy?
Well, in here we do a lot of creation and we do a lot of bridal. Bridals are probably right now, especially after COVID, it's been very popular. And brands like Takori or Michael M and Veragio and all those guys are very popular. Gabrielle, we see a lot of people walking through the door. But also, we notice that a lot of young couple, they want something nobody else has. So we create a lot of that. And that by itself is a joyful challenge. It's when you create something. So you see that balance. And when you go to the second level of the tier of the customers, the anniversaries, the Mother's Days, and all that thing, the diamond necklace, the diamond bracelet are the second thing that go. Jewelry is becoming more and more a traditional gift that's going to stay with them, and the people are starting to realize that, because jewelry is the only thing that's going to stay with you for generations.
Yeah. Passed
I mean,
on, passed on.
yeah, that's the only thing. I mean, look, buy a house, buy a car, all of them change or have a changeover or turnover, right? Or handover.
Right.
But jewelry stays with you for generation to generation. And actually, I always tell my customers, when they have something, get a 5x7 card and write on it the history of the piece, who gave it to you, grandmother, mother, and then your name. And then that way, when you pass to the next generation, they know who had it.
Right.
And all of a sudden, the piece has a personality and a character and history. So, jewelry is now, I think, my humble opinion, is the only one of the very, very pieces that stays with you for generations.
What piece of jewelry do you feel as though is the most common to be passed on for generations? That you've noticed in your times.
Diamond, the engagement ring or the wedding ring of the mother,
Mm.
and number one. Number two is mom's pendant or diamond bracelet or gold bracelet.
Mm-hmm.
And number three is dad's wedding band.
Interesting.
And then number four is a watch.
Huh.
Yeah. They keep it. They keep it.
Yeah. Out of what have you ever has someone ever came into your store and was like, hey, my great 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 so on and so forth, like what's like the greatest of the greats that have, you know what I'm saying?
I tell you, I enjoy the moments that when I see people coming in and they bring their great grandfather pocket watch.
Oh.
Or I've seen in here people bring things for me from World War One.
No kidding.
That they have kept it in a family and they want to be sure it's working condition. They want to be sure it's taken care of. I get every day in and out, day in, day out. I get, we do definitely. We get people here, people coming in that have mom's ring that needs to be taken care of because she wants to give it to the daughter before she gets married. So those are the moment gets me. And we see here every day, every holiday, for example. Sometimes you see three generations standing next to each other, the grandfather, the father, and the son, and they're buying gifts for Christmas. Those are the moments that you put a smile on your face because it's joyous to see that. It's a historical moment to see grandfather, father, and grandson standing next to each other buying for their wives. I think it's rewarding to us as a jeweler because you've been able to capture now three generations. That doesn't happen all the time.
Now, what even got you into becoming a jeweler?
Well, when you come in and as a jeweler, you want to be able to, first of all, you have to listen to them. You have to really realize what they say. You have to realize what their needs are. You have to understand what their vision is. Communication is number one. Communication is number one. And so oftentimes, the client brings you the idea that they have seen it, and you need to see what they see. And communication is a key element. And a lot of the time, when they see something, and when you show it to them in the end, the happiest moment for us is when we see sometimes tears in their eyes because now all of a sudden they see something came through. And the most rewarding moment is when they bring something from the grandmother and they break it apart, they use the gold, they use the diamond, they make something new, right?
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, you see them just break down and start crying because now they have something that is grandmother, but now they have their own touch on it.
And it's reinvented.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Very cool. Did you go to school or what was your childhood like?
Yeah. Very curious.
You know what?
Where are you from?
Ah.
Who are you? Who is Fred?
Well, the synopsis of who I am. And I was born in a small city in Iran. One of the oldest city actually in the world. It is a very historical city, it's biblical city. It's a city of a Chasson. I was born to a family. A father was a physician, and mother came from a jewelry family. My childhood I spent going to French Jewish school, so I was exposed to Western culture, and I got fascinated by the Western culture. When we moved to the capital city, I even get more fascinated by the Western culture. My grandfather owned exchange and jewelry shops that I spent times with him. So that's where I was exposed to the jewelry industry. When I finished the high school, I had the opportunity to stay in the old country.
Mm-hmm.
But I always wanted to come to the United States. At a younger age, I was in love with the U.S. and its culture and what it is. You see, freedom that exists in the United States doesn't exist anywhere else. And as a child, when you read the newspaper those days and you see about Watergate, seeing the most powerful man in the world coming to be basically brought down by people, makes you smile because, oh wow, that's possible. Then you watch movies, you watch American movies, you watch old movies like Ironside, or you see Colombo, and they know the guy is a criminal, but they can't touch him until they prove he's guilty. And then he goes through the due process.
Yes.
This is not something that takes place in a lot of countries. I was fascinated by that. So when I finished the high school, I told my parents, I was barely 16, barely 17 years old.
You finished high school when you're 16 or 17?
16, 17
That
years
is
old,
so different from America.
And I said to my
Wow.
parents, and I was able to go to university. I was pass all the exams to go to university in the old country. And I said, no, I'm going to the United States. And my parents looking at me, are you crazy? What do you want to go to America for? Who do you have?
Yeah.
So despite it all, I came to the United States. I ended up in Florida.
What part?
I went to St. Petersburg, Eckerd College in St. Petersburg. And I was there for 4 months. Did not like it because the progress was too slow for me. So I had a cousin here.
You were too smart for it.
Yeah. I called my cousin who had the second cousin I had here, who went to USIU here, which is now Alliance University. I called him and I said, hey, I want to come, and I want to come to San Diego. He said, you can, but you have 4 months to get ready for the basically English ready for university. You have to take exam. So I recommend you wait for another 6 months until the English is ready. I said no. I bought a one-way ticket. I came to San Diego. I spent the next 3 months in the library. I read anything and everything that I got my hand on. And I got to university. And 1979, unfortunately, the revolution happened in the old country. And my parents had to leave the country. Actually, my father left everything behind.
Yeah, what was the news like when
It was sad. It was very sad.
How did you find out? Did they
my dad, no. The revolution happened was the news, and my dad escaped. My dad called me. He was under actually house arrest, and to be basically executed. And my dad got lucky. That's a long story, but my dad escaped. He called me. He said, "Hey, if I come there, would you take care of me?" And I said, and I was maybe at the time 19 years old, right, 20 years old. I said to my dad, "Yep." So my dad came to here. He also, when he came here, he taught me a lesson because he also was a physician, right?
Right.
And for 1 year, this man would go in the morning until late at night and study, and he eventually passed his exam to become a doctor again.
Wow.
So that was also a lesson. That was a culture that exists in our family, that discipline. And then it took me a year or two to get about 2 years to get my mom out, and then another 2 years to get my sister out. The family came in process. And then I opened up here in 1981. The reason 1981 we opened up, remember, you have a limited amount of capital, very limited amount of capital. Very limited. I remember that I didn't have enough money for the core, so I took a piece of wood and I would put velvet over it myself and I staple it in the back and I use it as a display.
Right. Me too. Yeah.
My first flyer that I sent out was all hand done because I couldn't afford to do what I did.
Hire a printer.
Yeah,
or
I didn't
whatever,
have the money. And it took me, and insurance-wise, I didn't have enough money even to insure it for a few months. There were nights I had to sleep here because I couldn't afford the insurance.
Oh my goodness.
So you You put one brick at a time. You put one brick at a time. You put one brick at a time, and you go forward as you go. The history of the unicorn is history 44 years. How did I learn this business? I would come and open up the store. There were nights I would go home and I would read. And then I started going to GIA while I had the store. And customers are your best teachers. You learn.
Tell me about that. Yeah.
You learn. So. You learn. Your customers are your best teacher. They teach you. You listen to them, what they say and what they want. And then what they want, you watch. And then, the competition, they don't like you and they don't take you seriously. And they criticize you. If you're smart, you take that criticism to your heart and you find out if it's right, correct yourself. If they tell you, this guy doesn't know anything about diamonds, then you go read the diamond. Study about the diamond. Find out what was wrong, that you made a mistake for them to make fun of you, or even because in the beginning I was 21, 22 years old. Mm-hmm. I used to dye my mustache to look older.
Oh, yeah. So we've all been there.
Yeah.
Well, maybe not Tiffany.
So you learn, you go forward, you listen to it. I think the best lesson in life is the best teachers in life are the people who critique you. If they are wrong, ignore them. But if they're right, correct yourself. Take it to your heart and go forward. And it's okay. He was right. This competition said that, these guys don't have any. For example, one of my critics said that this guy doesn't have any diamond earring. Doesn't have any jewelry. Doesn't have any high-end jewelry. And I worked my butt off, and I pushed the store up. We pushed the store up, and you always use the energy, positive energy, to improve yourself. Always. Don't ever look back. For anybody and everybody, life is like a car. The future is a front window. Big and huge. You can see everything. Past is that mirror. You look back, you passed it, you remember it, so you don't make the same mistake and you go forward.
I like that a lot.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Where did the unicorn come from?
Well, when I started it was a matter of do or die. It's a matter of do or die. The name unicorn and the philosophy of unicorn, the name of unicorn in old culture represent purity, magic, and luck. I needed all the luck I could get. That's why the name unicorn came to picture. And it's been so far lucky. I'm very lucky. I have my sister who's my partner. She's a great partner. I have my wife, which is an excellent partner. And so it's a team. So, and then one of the other features that I have here, I've got team here. They've been with me for many years. I'm very lucky. I have my jewelers. Some of them are anywhere from 10 to 25 years with me.
Oh, wow.
My staff here, I have anywhere from 10 to 35 years here, 37 years here.
Goodness gracious.
I have a joke. I say, you guys coming in is standing up. You're going to go down laying down.
Do you want to give a shout out to any of your staff?
All of them.
All of the staff.
Every one of them. Every one of them. I'm very grateful to every single one of them, because you can't go forward if you're a team. You can't go forward if not some of them don't play, right?
It's kind of like friends too, right?
Yeah.
There's always going to be someone's going to drag you down, and they're dragging you down. That's the opposite of up.
You know, if you consider somebody a friend and they drag you down, they're not your friend.
Of course.
They're not your friend. You, in life, surround by yourself by people who want to go forward. And actually, there are people who may not agree with you. Disagreement does not necessarily mean that they don't like you. Sometimes the opposite ideas are good for you because you hear the other side. And you know, as I said, one of the key elements of success in life is to listen. Listen what people say, and then analyze them. And sometimes you learn from each other.
Very true. I was going to ask, how do you think social media has played a part in people coming in here looking for things? Like, do you think more people want the same type of jewelry because they're being influenced by, social media and what they see?
Big time.
Yeah.
Big time. First of all, a lot of my, it used to be a day that a guy would walk in here, and they wanted to get married. And I said, okay, what would you like? And they would look me like, I don't know. I really don't know. Now, majority of the guys walk in, they open up that phone, they say, okay, she saw this. And she wants this. I mean, it's like I'm going to grocery store, I'm going to buy 2 pounds of grape, and I'm going to walk out. And so, yeah, social media has played a big role. And the brands, one of the reasons you carry the brands, because the brands have done such a great job
With
of
marketing.
introducing themselves to the young generation like you. And like a gala for Oscars, right? The women basically watch these shows not only for the movies or performance and all that, also for dress and
The red carpet. It's the
Yeah,
best part.
yeah. And it's funny how many times and how often you get calls after the next day. Did you see that earring on so and so? Do you have that one in here? So that's number one. And number two, in this day and age of that people are connected to each other all over the world in seconds. It's funny, something is seen in France, something is seen in Israel, something is seen in Dubai, something is seen in India. It can become a sensation in the United States overnight. So
Wow.
44 years ago, when I opened the door, I had to worry about maybe 2 miles radius.
Mm-hmm.
Now I have to worry about the globe. What is happening in the world? If you're smart, you have to be watching the social media, what is happening there.
Do you think social media has made it easier for you, for your business, or harder?
Harder.
Harder?
Because there is always somebody out there that basically first of all, global, the demand puts you to
You have
be
to
on your
keep
toe all the time, and you have to respond and act. Number two, the Y and Z generation expectations are different from the millennial or baby boomers.
Yeah.
Right now, when they send it, unfortunately, a lot of them are text oriented. And when they send a text to you, they expect you to text back within an hour, no less than that, right? That's number two. So you have to be on it all the time. So that phone becomes also your second store. So now you have to be on it all the time. And if you have a social media presence, which we do, so we have to be on it. And number three, there are bad things about social media because a lot of the time they don't connect you. Sometimes online you're selling watch or ring or bracelet to somebody you never met. Now you have to basically have a different culture, online culture. See, when I meet you, I can look in the eye and I can talk to you, and you can look at me and I can look at you and we can talk. There's a different synergy, right? Online is a totally different synergy. So you have to balance it. Is it better for us business-wise? Yes. Socially, with the age of AI and all that coming in, I think we're going to go through a lot of changes. I think the big changes are yet to happen.
What do you think AI is going to do for your business?
AI has already done a lot of things for us in our industry because we see it already. There were from wax carving to CAD to casting to appraising to everything. You see AI basically coming in, and I think within the next 5 years we're going to see huge changes. I mean, I was watching a program in one of the jewelry conventions. They're introducing AI salesperson. So that I think is going to totally change the whole structure. But again, I go back and I think a lot of people go shopping because it gives them a little bit of relaxation. They want to have an interaction with the person, talk to people. You'll be surprised how many people come to us and out of the blue they tell us about their whole day.
Yeah.
Or their headaches. Or I had a fight with my wife. I had a fight with my husband. And they just want to get it out. And I think that's one of the reasons they want to happy. And I don't know if you saw that the Surgeon General of the United States, a few years ago came out that said the United States now is experiencing a lot of loneliness because people don't talk to each other. And I think, end of the day, that human touch should never go away.
Oh, 100%.
Shouldn't.
Yeah.
Should never go out. Look, when you meet someone and you start talking to each other, it's very different than you go on Zoom. First of all, as much as I personally I use Zoom a lot, when you look on Zoom, look at those windows. 30% of the people are not there. They're there, but they're not there.
Yeah.
They're looking at you, but they're not looking at you, right? Or some of them are playing with their phone, and some of them just have a voice but no video. That means they're not paying attention.
Right.
So I think human factor should always be there.
What do you think about lab-grown diamonds? Because I've seen some companies,
I like that question.
like bigger companies that have come out with this sort of stuff. And I'm not sure, like, I talked to my mom about it. She doesn't necessarily think that they're all that great. But I know that it's kind of the new in thing. So I was just curious what your thoughts were.
Great subject. Great and very controversial subject in our industry. Do you know what the diamond is? Diamond is a purified crystallized carbon that comes from 75 miles to 125 miles beneath the earth. Heat and the pressure of the earth cooked and crystallized that carbon.
Mm-hmm.
It took millions of years. Earth has cooled off. Earth doesn't produce any more diamond. So now they take that carbon and they take it to the lab and process the lab in a very short period of time, as much as 6 weeks. So what Earth does is far more expensive than the lab does.
Mm-hmm.
Lab-grown diamonds are not as valuable as a precious diamond. Precious diamond will always maintain their value. Lab-grown diamond, as we sell a lot of them, but I always tell my clients, look, don't expect to get money for it when you go to sell it. If you're buying it to fall back on it in time of hardship, don't. You will not see your money, if anything. Even though it's a diamond, even though it's precious, but people like it. But personally, I always tell my client, look, I have a policy, natural diamond, dollar for dollar, exchange it for a diamond. Lab grown, no. So in the long run, lab grown diamond, you have to remember, if you're not buying it for investment, it's fine. But if you're buying it for investment, don't. A lot of people buy it. A lot of my brides buy it. The way I see it, and I think I want to wait to see what happens in 2 years to 3 years. Unfortunately, 30% of the marriages in the U.S. end up in divorce. And what is the first thing the women fall back into to cash out and have some money? The engagement ring. So when you walk with engagement in a unicorn jewelry or XYZ and you want to sell it, and the guy says, I'm sorry, doesn't have much of a value, that I think by itself is going to start sending that shock wave that is needed to wake the Y generation or Z generation to realize, you know what, okay, it's beautiful, but I don't think I can get the money. So I think that will have some effect on it. Would you buy it? Again, I repeat it. If you're buying it for fun and you're buying because you want to have something pretty, last long, gonna be okay, but you're not looking at the investment, fine. It would never be a natural diamond. It would never be a natural diamond.
How can you tell the difference between the two? Is it even possible?
With the naked eye, you can. With what I call average machines, you can. There's certain machine that allow us to see it. By law, number one, the jeweler has to tell you it's lab grown. Number one. Majority, I would say about 98% of the lab grown diamonds, by law, they have a inscription on the girder that says, LG, which is lab grown. So at the moment you see the letter LG on your certificate or appraisal, is lab grown.
On the certificate, but not on the diamond itself.
On the diamond itself too.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
very, 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 very
on
small.
the edge of the diamond, it says LG da 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 da. So it has a number on it. That's the IGI number, which is the certificate number.
Okay.
But machine will tell us you can never see that with the naked eye. You can never see by the thing. The diamond is a diamond, but one is made by God, and one is made by man.
What is the price difference?
Huge. A 2 carat diamond, lab grown, you'll be dancing at lab grown, you'll be dancing anywhere from 2 to 4,000, 5,000, depending. If you go to chain stores, you're gonna see it anywhere from 6 to 10. A good 2 carat diamond, you'll be dancing anywhere from 12,000 to 30,000.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So big jump.
Big difference. And you go to chain store, department stores, of course, they charge you far more, right?
Mm-hmm.
But in the average independent store, you're gonna see it anywhere from, again, 2 carat, 6,000, 4,000, depending where you go. And by the way, when you buy lab grown, because it is so inexpensive, buy the best quality and the best color.
How do you tell?
Do you know what? You know the 4 C's of diamond: cut, color, clarity, and carat weight.
I have no idea.
Well,
I
the
don't own any
diamonds are judged by 4 characters, by 4 C's normally. I
Okay.
say 5.
Okay.
It's not 4, it's 5. Cut, color, clarity, carat weight, and confidence in the jeweler. That's where you will know. And a good jeweler always have them sit down before you invest in a diamond. Sit down with the jeweler and let them educate you. Let them teach. I always do. I spend about 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes with my client, because that way they know what they're looking at. Nothing is blind for them.
Yeah, here's a diamond. Do you want it?
No, and I see that happen. I've seen it happen, and with my own eyes. And I think it's the worst way of selling it, because the customer doesn't appreciate what they just got. But when you sit in there and you teach them and educate them, the best client is educated client.
What do you think is the most important out of the 4 or 5 pillars to you? Because I've heard some people think color is the most important, or cut, but I know the difference in prices can be crazy.
Cut
depending
and
on
color are, first is color. What is the first thing you see in the jewelry?
The
What
color.
is the first thing you see in the diamond? The cut, by the way, when you say the cut, is not the shape, the shape. Cut is how diamond is finished and faceted.
Okay.
And that affects the color tremendously. You could have an E color, D color, F color, but if you put it next to the diamond who's not cut well, it wouldn't have life. You know how sometimes you go and look at the diamond in the jewelry store or the mall, whatever, and they have that hazy look, and it's E, and you say, how come it doesn't have any life? It's because the way it's being faceted. Cut basically is not just the shape of the stone. Cut is the way how it's been faceted and polished. That's what you should look at.
Oh.
It's important for you. If the diamonds also are cut poor, fair, good, excellent.
Poor, fair, good, and excellent.
Yeah. Poor, fair, good, very good, excellent. Then the thing is, you want to be sticking to very good to excellent, because that will give you the maximum scintillation. You
Okay,
always want to do that.
So, gentlemen, if you're listening, if you're going to buy a diamond, don't be cheap, because she will find out.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And so will the jeweler. And you will look like a schmuck.
You'll be surprised how many women come in after they get the ring, and they tell the jeweler, "Can you tell me about this ring?"
Right after they got married.
Right after they get married.
We gotta know what they're in for.
And the ladies, and you know what? It's funny. If you're a smart jeweler, you don't say anything, drastic or derogatory, nothing. You just basically, if you you have to be careful, because you don't want
Right.
to.
Well, they already own it.
You don't want to cause a divorce.
You're going to get the guy coming knocking on your door. You
What
told
the
my
hell
wife.
did you do that? Oh yeah. So a lot of the time, you just look at it and say, "What would you like to know about it?" I want to know, how good is it? It's beautiful. Do you like it? My response is always, "Do you like it?" That's all it matters. No. I want to know what.
So, have you ever had someone come in here and you tell them, unfortunately, this is a fake diamond?
Plenty of time.
No kidding.
Plenty of time. Listen, as a jeweler, I'm actually writing my memoirs after, when I retired, God willing, 5-10 years, whenever it is. But yeah, you see that. People coming in, and, the lady comes in and wants to sell something, and they say, "I'm so sorry, this is not real."
I've heard that a lot, actually.
Yeah, I'm sorry, it's not real. And unfortunately, it happens a lot with a lot of people who buy online sometimes, or buy in haste without doing their homework. And sometimes and some people buy it overseas.
So, someone buying online, would you recommend them to come to you or a jeweler in general meet there and have the jeweler inspect before
100%.
purchasing?
100%. We do that all the time.
You do.
All the time. Uh, maybe oftentimes maybe 4 or 5 times a week we get people, because you have a on-site gemologist, including myself. We got 3 of them, so they come in and they want to buy. They want to be sure it's a diamond.
Mhm.
They want to be sure it's not lab grown. They want to
Right.
be sure it's not treated. They want to be sure. And don't forget, diamond by itself is also have different categories, because the diamond could be laser, the diamond could be treated. You have to be very careful.
Mm.
So when you buy online, be sure you know the seller. 2, be sure you have the chance of returning it just in case. Number 3, you want to be sure the diamond is GIA certified.
Okay, so lab grown, you're not getting your investment back.
No.
You buy 2,000,
Absolutely
they'll
not.
give you 200.
No.
Maybe.
If you think you're gonna make money in a lab grown, natural diamond stays with you for generations, and you will see it. And we see it all the time. The lady buys it for $10,000, let's say 10 years ago, now worth 17, 18.
I want you to tell us a story. I'm sure you have something of story in regards to this.
In regard to,
Like you've seen the Titanic, I'm sure, right? The Titanic movie.
yes,
Right. What was it? Not the Purple Heart. What was it? The
diamond, the
the-
diamond, the blue diamond, the
blue
purple diamond, yeah, the pink diamond.
Have you ever like ran into something absolutely bizarre and crazy? Maybe not to that level, but something like that.
Sure, I have quite a few times, and I had people
wow.
coming in. I had one lady coming in here that brought jewelry to sell, and she had it all in a box mixed with not real diamonds, silver, fake jewelry, and all that. She bought
Oh,
it in a
wow.
box,
Just
plastic
a box of what's this?
just box of junk, radio junk.
Yeah.
So she poured it on the desk. So she said, "I want to know which is GL, what is not GL. I want to sell."
hmm
And I'm going through it. So I separated some pieces. She had a blue diamond. Blue, pink, red diamonds are some of the most expensive diamonds
How so?
because they're
They're
very
so
rare,
rare.
Wow.
extremely rare. Red diamond are very, very few of them in the world.
So okay, what was your okay? So you're looking through the box, or it's all on the table now. You're picking this up. Did your eye go right to the blue diamond immediately?
Yeah, because you know what? Look, after 44 years, your eyes are trained. You see things. I see things that you don't see. That's something in your business or your business, right? You see things I never see, right? You notice certain things about element on your stage or your performance that I would never see it, right? The same thing with us. That lady had a blue diamond that worth a lot of money, and she had no idea. So when I told her that,
Yeah. You picked it up and
I
you.
probably said, "Look, this is worth a lot of money." She said, "What?" She had no idea. It's been in her garage for 5 years. Mom gave it to her. It's been in the family for so many, for two generations. Grandfather bought it in Switzerland. And it was a beautiful stone. We took that stone, we sent it to GIA for her. We got it certified, came back, and the diamond was sold for $45,000.
Wow.
And she had it sitting in the garage. She had no bloody idea. So that
Oh
happens.
my God.
I have had people coming in with no knowledge of what they have. That's one of the reasons I always tell my client, I said that earlier, get a 5x7 card, write on the whole thing, every piece that you have, the history of the piece. That way they know, the next generation know what they have.
So she sold it ultimately.
We sold it for her. We sold it for 45. Yeah,
Wow.
it was a beautiful piece, beautiful diamond.
What has been done with that diamond since? Like, what's the
The
process?
person who bought it, is it took, he ended up putting it in ended up putting a nice ring. We surrounded it with a white diamond, right? And then we gave it a nice pink diamond on the side. So, the wife liked pink, he liked blue, and white, represented purity that we hugged the blue diamond. And blue represents loyalty, and, so it was gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous piece. Anything that you create has to represent something,
Yeah.
right? So, for example, you see the ring with 3 stones. It's
Yes.
past, present, and future, right?
Yes.
So I always say, okay, past, present, and future. How about the element that created that that whole life? So on the side, sometimes you put the birthstones.
Oh,
Yeah.
That's what you do. You jewelry has to represent a meaning, occasion, life, happiness, joy. Right? You can't just make something, because when you represent it to her and she wants to go home, she wants to look at it. Okay, this is me. This is my mother. I mean, look at my own. I have my own ring. Actually, I forgot to put it on. Look, this is my own ring. See, this is when the engagement ring I got married to.
Oh, wow.
These are my small goals in my life, and these are my big goals in my life. I still have one to go. This is me and my beautiful wife, and this is my 3 boys.
Beautiful.
Yeah, this is.
Would you mind showing that to the viewers?
Sure.
It's absolutely gorgeous.
This is every piece represents something. Everything in your life.
I think people kind of forget that you can design
Oh.
anything. So what's the price difference between buying something that's already made and putting an idea together?
Sometimes the same,
Okay.
sometimes a little bit more, but depending what you want. Sometimes more, but think of it.
It's the same metal.
Isn't it worth it that you make something that is you,
Right.
and you pay a little bit more? Let's say you want to make something, here for her, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you put your own thought to it.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna worth to her and mean to her far more, because it was your ideology was in there, your thought were in there. Sometimes the guys goofed, the men are sometimes they don't have a good imagination, so you have to direct them. No, you don't want to do that. You don't want to do that.
A little bit of help.
Oh yeah, you don't want to do that. I had one guy yesterday come in, who brings me the diamond and he wants to put it in a mounting. He wants to propose. I said, that's a beautiful diamond. He said, yeah, thank you. I just got a divorce. It's from my ex-wife. I said, you want to give your ex-wife a diamond to
Did he ultimately?
No.
Oh.
I said, you're gonna have your head on the block. I mean, can you imagine you tell your wife, by the way, that diamond? No, it's my ex-wife.
I mean, well, she doesn't have to know.
Well,
She would find out.
You know,
She
when-
would find out.
she would
Does it
find
have
out.
ex-wife engraved on the thing?
Probably. There's probably a little engraving you had to cut out a little bit.
And first of all, don't start your life with lie.
Right.
Don't start your life with a lie. Number one. Number two, women will find out. In one time, men they're the worst secret keepers. They eventually open up and fess up to the wife. I did. By the way, one time he has 4 or 5 beers with his friend, and that's slips, and it's
Yeah.
done, and it's done.
It's done.
Yep.
Then he's gonna be sitting in a chair over there buying something twice the size.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Don't be cheap. Gotcha. Or stupid.
Well, I would say innocent.
What is gold currently?
Gold has been spiking up because of the international crisis that we see in the world and because of the inflation in the U.S. Gold is at the moment is dancing very close to 2,400. It used to be a few months ago. It was about 1,900, then 2021, then 22.
Yeah.
Now it's close to 2,400.
Last time I purchased, it was 1,200. I think 1,300 or something.
Those days are long gone.
For good.
For good. You would never go back that low.
Oh, good. I got a good deal then.
Well, of course, but don't forget gold. Look at it. When you go to grocery store, you pay what? A lot more money for dozen of
Yes.
eggs.
Yes.
You went from the time 6-7 years ago was 99 cents, $1.99 to what? $7.99, $8.99.
What the heck?
So gold is a hedge against inflation. They look at it and they say, okay, if that thing is that much, gold is going to be that much.
Okay. Do you absolutely recommend purchasing gold?
Do you think it's going to keep going up?
Well, obviously, I feel
Well,
like, right? It has to.
Let me put it this way. First of all, if you have the means to buy it and keep it, yes.
So if you're financially stable,
If you're financial, exactly. If you
and
have
it's not
money,
taking a burden into
and,
your-
don't buy it for speculation, because it's very, right now it's very volatile. But will it go up? All logic points to the fact that it should and it must go up. But the word is not logical. That nothing has been logical. But again, would I myself buy it? Yes. Gold coins right now are very high in demand. Silver coins are very much in demand. People are investing in it. But I tell people, don't take money from your grocery. Don't take money from your rent to do that, because you know what? You never know. Would I buy it for investment? Yes.
Would you Would you feel as though, from your perspective, or just anyone, I suppose, rather than investing into like the stock market or a Roth IRA, use that money and put it towards something physical in your hand like gold or silver?
I'm not a financial planner in that aspect.
Mm-hmm.
You can have your IRA, use that money in IRA and Roth IRA and buy gold coin. Personally, I believe in having it physically in my hand.
Yeah.
I don't like gold stock, because if something happens like COVID again, what are they going to do with it?
Yeah.
Basically, and I'm not taking away from it. People who are financial planner. There are a lot of good things in there. But personally, I'd rather have the gold coin in my hand just in case.
Mm-hmm. I like that.
Yeah, gold coins should be better.
Where would be a good idea to keep it for one who would purchase this? Safe at the house or safe in your store?
Well, that would depends on your lifestyle. If you're living in a mobile home, no.
Let's get to another one.
What do you think about mixing metals?
Ah.
Because I think it's kind of been trendy now, and I've seen a lot of big brands. We'll even have like Rolex will have a watch that will have like a two-tone white gold and gold. What do you think about that?
There is a reason for that. You know, for a while, white was prominent and dominant factor in jewelry, right? But now we see a shift to yellow gold. So a lot of people don't want to get rid of their white and they want to keep their yellow. So a lot of watches are going two-tone. And a lot of jewelry are going two-tone in order to accommodate both generations. That generation is shifting. We are seeing a transition. So in the transition, a two-tone would adhere and answer to those needs, right? So you see that. You see that, specifically now with a lot with Rolex, with high brand watches like Rolex, Patek Philippe, Vacheron, Cartier, all of those watches. You see the two-tone taking a big, forward. White still has a lot of prominence, but yellow is starting to catch fire. We are normally follow Europe by 2 years, 3 years in fashion. And if you go to the jewelry shows in Europe, mainly dominantly you see yellow. Okay. So that's one of the reasons you see a lot of two-tone.
Yeah, I've noticed, yeah.
I just knew, like, my mom would always say, you don't mix metals. And now you see it all over the place.
Yeah, you mix them up. Look, I have mixed them up.
Yeah.
No, I mean...
So it's okay to wear gold and silver
sure.
and pink or white, what is it?
Rose gold. First of all, remember rule number one in jewelry. There's few rules in jewelry. Number one, if it is too big, somebody else owns it, not you. Mm. If it is ugly, it's somebody else, it's not yours. Mm. And if it is too obnoxious, the hell with it. I'm enjoying it. So these, and jewelry is about you. It's nobody else. Number one. Number two, would I mix white and yellow? Yes, because a lot of people do it because we are in that whole new fashion now, that era that people mix it. So I would enjoy what you like.
Well, speaking of gold, for someone wanting to start out, the show is called Stressful to Successful, right? If someone wanted to start out and start their own and become a jeweler, such as yourself, how would you buy gold or whatnot, precious metals, wholesale?
Wholesale?
Mm-hmm. I mean, in a sense, that's how it works, right? I mean, I follow some gentlemen online who do...
Yeah, you buy... But first of all, in order to open a jewelry store these days, my biggest advice to the young generation is be educated.
Okay.
You have to be educated. Know the business. Know your gems. Know your diamond. Know your gold, number one.
Don't just go into it with
just
no
don't
knowledge.
Go in it. Don't think because I have money, I'm going to, of course.
You're probably going to lose money if you do that for one and make yourself not credible.
Of course. This business now is far more complicated and more complex than I started in 1981. Amazing. Far more. Number two, be disciplined. This business demands huge amount of discipline. Mm-hmm. You need to be on it, pay attention to every single detail. 3, be ethical. It's very important to know that to respect the rules of law of ethic with your customer. Number 4, have enough capital to roll with it, because this business right now is a lot of ups and downs.
So how much capital do you feel as though someone would need to start?
Depends what they want to do.
Oh,
If
very
you want to
true.
open up a store,
Or have it online? Or
well, online is different story than you have with the store. In the jewelry stores, the way that you see here in my store, I think it's a very hard one to come by these days. A lot of big stores. If you notice, a lot of boxes that are opening up, a lot of jewelry stores are opening up, are either chain or they are basically what I call a continuation of a like 4th or 5th store. You see, when a lot of stores are opening up now are small mom and pops, and unfortunately, a lot of them go out in a matter of 2 years. Average life expectancy of a business a jewelry business in California is about 5 years.
Oh.
They don't last that long. That's one of the reasons. 44 years for us is just
pretty amazing.
amazing. Yeah. I used to be
Wow.
6 feet tall, so.
I love that.
So you sell a lot of different brands here. What is the main difference do you think that would differentiate your jewelry store from, like, if I wanted to buy a Cartier bracelet from you guys? Why would I buy it? Like, what makes it special to buy it from you?
Okay, first of all, brand names represent prestige. And a lot of people look at the brand because of the prestige, number 1. Number 2, a lot of brands, they have their own unique design to them. Like Takori, for example, has a crescent. They have their own patented design. Michael M, Veragio, Gabriel, all of these guys have their own niche. That young lady, like, he looks at it and said, I like that, right? That's number 1. Number 2, when you buy the brand, because depending on the brand, they maintain that whole status or prestige for you, right? And the same token, a lot of them come with a lifetime warranty. When you go to custom design, it's yours. We make it for you. We take care of it for you as long as you need it. These two balance each other. However, the brand, a lot of people like it because that patented design. For example, as I told you, Takori has certain things that nobody else has. Veragio, Michael M, Gabrielle, Jaffe. These guys have things that nobody else has, and people sit on the phone or on a computer and we go on a Pinterest or on Instagram, and all of a sudden say, that's what I wanted. Nobody else has it. That's what attracts you to that. And another thing is, for independent stores, brand name is a pull brand. They bring people in. We have the same thing with watches as we do. A lot of people come in. A lot of people come in for a specific brand like Takori or Rancho because they see that particular piece. And they do a fantastic job of promoting themselves. The budgets, and we work with them also. The budget sometimes is in millions nationwide.
Wow.
Yeah, that's what they do.
What's next for you? Do you want to have a unicorn brand, jewelry?
My unicorn brand are the pieces I have made.
Yeah, tell us about those.
I made a lot of beautiful pieces. I made pieces that have won awards. We have made pieces in here that no one else has. My sister, my wife, myself, we have made, each one of us have made pieces that we are proud of it. That's the one I made it. That's a unicorn brand. But I also have made watches.
No kidding.
Brand unicorn brand that nobody else has. So I have, they have made pieces to specifically go after the name brand for unicorn. I'd rather have that piece that no one else have. A lot of the time I refuse to repeat. If I make something for her and he come to me and he says, I saw that in there, can you make it for me? I normally say no. We all, my sister says no, my wife says no.
One of one.
That's one of one. Because then there's no longer that unique piece. Then you cannot say it's a unique piece.
I love that.
Yeah, you can't take it away from a person who trusted you to make that piece.
Well, what are some crazy, cool custom pieces that you've made? I mean, I saw online, I went to your website when we first met, and I saw this unicorn pendant.
Yeah, we made, I've made some crazy cool pieces. You know, one of the one I made.
It was up and it was gone.
Yeah.
It was there and
It
it
gets-
was
it
just
gets bought.
yeah.
We just, we made some crazy pieces. Myself, I made a necklace that was all diamond coming down, right? And then came down to like an opening and one single yellow stone side in there. But I surrounded the yellow with the pink diamonds.
Whoa.
Wow.
It was gorgeous. My sister made a piece a few days ago. I looked at it. It was gorgeous. It was a wedding band that has the diamond, has oval, and then had diamonds on the side, but it was all um, pink diamonds on the side also. Um, One of the other pieces that I take a pride in, I'm making it. Um, oh, by the way, we do a lot of corporate. We do a lot of corporate work. We do a lot of corporate work, like they customize it for them.
What do you mean?
Like right now, we're working with Poway Wrestling Team. They just won a championship, right?
Right.
So we're making all the rings for them.
Oh, that's so
That's
fun.
so awesome.
I have another company that we're making. They give they give gift to their salesperson as to award them.
Right.
So we sit together with the guy from corporation, and we design a logo, whatever it is, and we bring it to fruition, and we make it to ring, to bracelet, to pendant. That's what we do. Going back to the thing, I made a ring. Somebody came to me. One of the pieces that I made a few weeks ago that touched my heart was the father passed away, and the wife was devastated. So I took his wedding band and her wedding band and made it to puffed heart. And puffed heart has a vacuum inside of it. I took his ashes and I put it in there, and I sealed it. So that ashes in there as a pendant for it in a puffed heart. Then I put his birthstone, her birthstone, and the children's birthstone all over the heart.
Oh wow.
And she's gonna wear it now. And then the back of it, I put the
Engraved.
initials of all the initials, all the kids and the wife and the husband, all the back of it.
Amazing.
That was beautiful.
Amazing. Where can so for those who are watching and listening right now, all over the world, where can they find you?
Here, this is my cage. We are here, Unicorn Jewelry Watch Boutique in Rancho Bernardo. We've been here, as I said, for 44 years. 16781 Bernardo Center Drive. Family owner operated. We are here Monday through Friday, 10 to 5, and Saturday 10 to 4. Sundays, I enjoy my wife and my children. We need one day to basically become civilian. But we are here in Rancho Bernardo. Very easy to find us. Very easy to find us. It's a nice open center, a lot of parking, and we are also available by appointment.
Wonderful. What about websites? Where can they find your website?
Unicorn Jewelry, unicornjewelrywatchboutique.com, unicornjewelry.com. You can go in there. You can go on our Facebook. You can go on Instagram. You're on LinkedIn. You can find us easily. And you're more than welcome to call in the store, 858-487-6454.
Thank you so much, Fred.
My pleasure.
And for us, you can find us at stressful2successful.com. Thank you again, Fred.
My pleasure.
And just
thank you.
Amazing stories.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Madam, thank you very much.